Okay, welcome in. I'm going to try and do a quick review between Friday, April 11th and Sunday, April 13th. So Friday we had a grand total of 5 games on tap. Starting in Ottawa, where the Montreal Canadiens played against the Ottawa Senators. As you can see on the screen, the Ottawa Senators would win by a final score of 5-2. Staying in the Atlantic, we had the Tampa Bay Lightning. They played host to the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings would win this game in overtime by a final score of 4-3. Off to the Metropolitan Division, where we had the New Jersey Devils. They played host to the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins would double up on the Devils 4-2. Off to the Pacific Division, where we had the Edmonton Oilers welcoming back McDavid. They would double up on the Sharks by a final score of 4-2 themselves. And then the last game took place in Calgary as the Flames played the host to the Minnesota Wild. The final score would be 4-2 in favor of Calgary, and they're chasing the Wild and the Blues for a final spot in the postseason. Saturday, April 12th, we had a grand total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games on tap from Saturday, April 12th. The first game took place in Toronto as we had 2 original 6 teams taken to the ice. This game would need to be decided in overtime as there was no scoring for the first 3 periods. Mitch Marner would get the game-winning goal, his 26th of the season, so the Leafs would win 1-0. Off to the Metropolitan Division once again, as we had the Philadelphia Flyers. They played host to the New York Islanders. 4-3 would be the final score in favor of the Flyers, who would win in a shootout. A bit of a one-sided affair between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Washington Capitals. These two teams would play a back-to-back, a home-and-home game. Columbus would shut out the Capitals 7-0. Next, we're off to the Metro, where we had the Carolina Hurricanes playing against the New York Rangers. This was like a football score. 7-3 would be the final score in favor of the Hurricanes. I believe after that game, the Rangers were officially eliminated from the postseason. All right, the Los Angeles Kings, who I've said time and time again have an amazing home record this season, took on the Colorado Avalanche. 5-4 would be the final score in favor of the Kings. All right, now we're off to the Atlantic, where we had the Florida Panthers playing host to the Buffalo Sabres. 3-2 would be the final score in favor of Florida, who would win in a shootout. Chicago Blackhawks played host to the Winnipeg Jets. Final score would be 5-4 in favor of the Jets, who would win in a shootout. Dallas Stars played host to the Utah Hockey Club. A bit of an upset to say the least, as 5-3 would be the final score in favor of the Utah Hockey Club. Vancouver Canucks played host to the Minnesota Wild. The Wild would win this game in overtime 3-2. The Vegas Golden Knights played host to the Nashville Predators. The final score would be 5-3 in favor of the Golden Knights. And the last game from Saturday took place in Seattle as the Kraken played host to the St. Louis Blues. Seattle would win this game in a shootout. 4-3 would be the final score. And then Sunday, we had a grand total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games from Sunday, April 13th. The first game took place in Ottawa as the Senators played host to the Philadelphia Flyers. The Senators would win this game in overtime 4-3. Just the one goal to report between the New Jersey Devils and the New York Islanders. Bo Horvat will get the game-winning goal, 19:03 of the second period, giving the Islanders a 1-0 victory. Pittsburgh Penguins played host to the Boston Bruins. The Bruins would win this by a final score of 4-1. Carolina Hurricanes played against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto would win this one by a final score of 4-1. Tampa Bay Lightning played against the Buffalo Sabres. A bit of a high-scoring game. 7-4 would be the final score in favor of the Lightning. The Capitals and Blue Jackets, I said this before, they did a home-and-home and a back-to-back. They would play yet again, and Columbus got the better of the Capitals, keeping their slim playoff hopes alive by a final score of 4-1. The Jets played host to the Edmonton Oilers. 4-1 would be the final score in favor of Edmonton. Calgary Flames, who needed this win to stay alive in a postseason berth, played against the San Jose Sharks, and they would win by a final score of 5-2. And the last game from Sunday took place in Anaheim as we had the Ducks playing at host to the Colorado Avalanche. The Avs would double up on the Ducks 4-2. All right, now take a look at the standings. So in the Eastern Conference, the Maple Leafs are just one more win away from clinching the Atlantic Division for the first time. They have a record of 50-26-4. They have 104 points. The Tampa Bay Lightning are in second place with a record of 46-26-8. They have 100 points on the season. And the Florida Panthers have a record of 47-29-4. They have 98 points. It's looking more and more that we're going to have a rematch from last year with the Battle of Florida, and we'll see who Toronto plays in the first round themselves. It could be a Battle of Ontario, to be honest with you. In the Metropolitan Division, I've said this many times, the Washington Capitals have clinched that division with a record of 50-21-9. They have 109 points. The Carolina Hurricanes are in second place with a record of 47-28-5. They have 99 points. The New Jersey Devils are in third place with a record of 41-32-7. They have 89 points. So the Hurricanes and Devils will be meeting up in the first round of the playoffs for the second time in 3 years. Two teams in the wildcard spot are the Ottawa Senators, who have clinched the playoff spot with a record of 44-30-6. They have 94 points. The Montreal Canadiens are holding on for dear life. They need one more win, and they will secure a playoff spot for the first time since their 2021 Stanley Cup final run. They have a record of 39-31-10. They have 88 points. The only team that could possibly catch them are the Columbus Blue Jackets. They are 3 points behind with 2 games in hand. With 2 games remaining, I should say. They have a record of 38-33-9. The rest of the teams from the Eastern Conference that have been eliminated look like this. The New York Islanders have a record of 35-33-12. They have 82 points. The Detroit Red Wings have a record of 37-35-7. They have 81 points. The New York Rangers have a record of 37-36-7. They have 81 points as well. The Pittsburgh Penguins, who have now missed the playoffs for 3 straight years, have a record of 33-36-12. They have 78 points. The Buffalo Sabres, who have missed the playoffs now for 14 straight years, have a record of 35-38-7. They have 77 points. The Philadelphia Flyers, who have missed the playoffs now for 5 straight years, have a record of 33-37-10. They have 76 points. And the Boston Bruins, who I believe the last time they missed the playoffs was 2014-15, if I'm not mistaken, or 2015-16. One of those 2 years was the last time that team missed the playoffs. They're currently sitting in last place with a record of 33-39-9. They have 75 points. All right, now we're off to the Western Conference, and I'll see if I can get everybody, for the most part, on the same screen. So in the Central Division, the Winnipeg Jets have won that division for the first time. They have a record of 55-22-4. They have 114 points. They've also clinched the President's Trophy as well. The Dallas Stars have a record of 50-24-6. They have 106 points. The Colorado Avalanche, who have completed their season, they have a record of 49-29-4. They have 102 points. So it will be Dallas and Colorado in the first round of the postseason. In the Pacific Division, the Vegas Golden Knights have won that division yet again. No surprise there. They have a record of 49-22-9. They have 107 points. The Los Angeles Kings have a record of 46-24-9. They have 101 points. The Edmonton Oilers have a record of 47-28-5. They have 99 points. So for the 4th straight season, the Los Angeles Kings will play against the Edmonton Oilers. This time, it's looking like they may have home ice advantage, and especially since they do have a game in hand as well. The Minnesota Wild have a record of 44-30-7. They have 95 points. They're currently holding on to the first wild card spot. The St. Louis Blues have the record of 43-30-8. They have 94 points. The only team that could possibly catch up to St. Louis would be the Calgary Flames. They have a record of 39, 27, and 14. They have 92 points. And as for the rest of the Western Conference, the Vancouver Canucks, who had high expectations coming into this year, have been eliminated. They have a record of 37, 29, and 14. They have 88 points. Considering the fact that they won their division last year, there certainly was high expectation for this team to make the playoffs. The Utah Hockey Club, in their first season, will miss out on the postseason, but they had a pretty decent record, 37, 30, and 13. They had 87 points on the season. The Anaheim Ducks will now miss the playoffs for the, let me just do a quick little math here, 7th straight year. They have a record of 35, 37, and 8. They have 78 points. The Seattle Kraken have missed the playoffs for the third time in their 4-year history, with a record of 35, 40, and 6. 76 points is what they have so far. The Nashville Predators, who had a very, very, very extremely disappointing season after making the playoffs last year, missing it the year before. They've now missed the playoffs 2 of the last 3 seasons. They have a record of 29, 43, and 8. They have 66 points. Chicago Blackhawks, who are now going to miss the playoffs for the 5th straight season. They're clearly in a rebuild. They have a record of 23, 46, and 11. They have 57 points. And the San Jose Sharks, who have missed the playoffs for the 6th straight year. They have a record of 20, 49, and 11. They have 51 points. All right, that's going to take care of this brief recap from Friday to Sunday from the National Hockey League. The season is winding down. This is the last week of the regular season. I can't believe how fast time really goes. I know I always said in my football reviews that the season's so short and it goes by so fast. Well, 7 months just passed by us that fast for hockey. And now I'm pretty sure this upcoming weekend is when the playoffs start. So time certainly goes by very fast. Doesn't matter what sports you follow or whatever, regardless. Anyways, no point in me going on a big rant about how fast time goes. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative as well. Until next time, and as always, take care.